All right, Zach, let's take a look at your paper. MLA format, make sure this is Times New Roman font. Otherwise, all of this is okay. May I be excused? That's intriguing. Not exactly sure how it relates to your paper, but I bet you're going to figure it out. Introduction. All right, with your introduction, so jumping right into the topic, which we don't want. I don't care that you wait on the quote, which is fine, but you can't jump right into the topic. Think about a different way to make that work. I'm starting to see where the may I be excused is coming into play here. Remember, when you have a conjunction, you have two complete sentences on either side. You got to put a comma in there. Uh, you have really good voice in here. The word choice and voice is pretty good. This is what you learned from high school. It's beyond boundless in more ways than one, in more ways than one, and that is it is responsible for my inner mean spiritedness. This is almost a little too factual. You want something that's a little bit more. How do I say? You probably want something that's a little bit more emotional, as far as you learned something from your high school experience. I mean, obviously you want to get out, which is fine, but try to figure out what that one thing that is that you learned. Um, Here's the quote, doesn't belong here. You really need your thesis to be last, which this is kind of your thesis, but you're going to fix that anyway. But make sure the order is a little bit better too, from the introduction. Another thing I like to see in your introduction too is to make sure that you go over your main points and preview those. So freshman year, freshman year, always use freshman for an adjective. Mostly emotionally exhausting year of high school. You're getting closer to a topic sentence, but it could be a little bit stronger. It was when I finally got a girlfriend. Tell me about it, brother. So you're crushing on this girl again. Little cliche, but at least you're using some different words. Uh, I like that she already told you that she liked you, so that's pretty funny. Spell out the number two. And this is kind of funny. You could even, this is where a good place to maybe put in a simile or metaphor, like, maybe like the felt like a boxer after a 10th round knockout, like I get that with this scene that you're kind of throwing your arms in the air, like, yeah, woohoo, and then, I don't know. So that you could really build off of that a little bit more, too. Uh, Hardest part was over, semicolon, boy, comma, was I wrong? So fix that little comma splice there. I get very. She was your first girlfriend. You don't have to put very in there. I like the unprofessional mess ups. I don't know what that entails, but that would be great detail as well. I know you're short paper length here, so that'd be a good place to talk about some of your unprofessional mess ups, as far as awkward, things that you said to her or whatever. Because you go from I got the girl of my dreams to we're ready to break up pretty fast. So you might want to put some more detail in there. You got a space issue here that you need to fix as well. Uh, oh, the cold shoulder, that's difficult. And then you get the phone call, the text about wanting to break up. This is really funny. And then I did what any manly man would do. I cried. That's pretty funny. Uh, Not that it happened to you, Zach, of course, but it's still pretty funny as a moment in this paper. I still loved her, comma, though, comma, and I wanted so badly to fix things, but I wasn't given the light of day. So try to fix whenever you have though in the sentence that you put commas around it. This is a fragment sentence, so fix that. And then you kind of go back to your, quote here, which is fine. Not kind of. You go back to your quote here, which is fine, but don't let that be your, the theme, because your theme is about you know that it's responsible for your inner mean spiritedness, but I don't see that in here. I don't see a lot of reflection in here. Looking back, was this for the best that you're friends again? Looking back, how would you have changed that relationship? Would you have waited or whatever? So try to figure out some reflection to put in those paragraphs. So the next part is about your friends your freshman year. And I do again have to tell you, Zach, I think your voice is fantastic. The IQ of lettuce is hilarious. Metamorphosize is good. I like that concept. Uh, he's trying to tie it into that theme of getting out of here, but it's weak, and basically whatever I said in the last paragraph pertains to this too. Because I have a feeling you're just going to keep repeating this phrase over and over again. Um, Anyways, so moving on to your sophomore year. This is where topic sentences need to be better. It was an interesting year personally. Well, it sounds to me like it was a boring slash revelation year where you really did learn something about slacking off and hoping for the best. You have some comma splices here, comma splice here, so go back and fix those. You were incredibly lazy, but also incredibly smart. So, comma, so it's okay. My grades dropped, comma, of course, but not by much. And then you go on to talk a little bit about not using the stuff. I think you meant going over the World War II for the seventh time, so I think that's a wrong word there. To fix that, you do have a little bit of a transition into your junior year. I don't know how it saved you for my boredom, as far as maybe you just took a break from it. I don't know. But I thought this was going to lead into something big that happened during your summer of your sophomore, between your sophomore and junior, but you just lead into your junior year. So maybe make that more clear. You're using the taxi thing again, so I think that could get. And it's not. Yeah, it gets old. So figure out how you're going to fix it. Strong topic sentence. Still, we need one here. That's so weak. I'm not. I feel like this is a throwaway paragraph. You don't have the same voice in here. You don't have the details for sure in here that you do in the other ones. I get that you're not even thinking about your future, and you do a really good job of reflecting too. Looking back, I can say that I didn't think the future mattered. I really like that reflection. I think, the idea of always be never have to grow up like in the Elmo's version of Peter Pan. Use some language to puncture this up, but um, I really like the I couldn't stop doing nothing. Uh, in the context, it makes sense, but it's almost a paradox, which is really funny to me. They'd eventually buy you a new car, use their connection to get you a job. You had a job, and is that specific? You might want to bring that up. That's just what I expected for whatever reasons. You got a comma splice there too that you have to fix. Um, Comma splice there. Anyways, go back through and fix this. It's not the strongest paragraph because it's lacking a lot of the details. Got some of your voice, but lacking those details. Need another strong topic sentence here, Zach, for your last paragraph. Um, you do have some good details in here and good voice in here, as far as uh, the idea of questionable lunch food, which I don't even know why it makes sense to bring it up now, but other than just a dig at the lunch lady, I guess. Um, Comma conjunction, you don't need that comma here. None that interested me is not a complete sentence. Uh, I was told blah blah blah. I like the concept of going to devastating debt to play a guessing game didn't sound like fun at all. I like that line. It's a really good line. Um, but didn't really say what else I could do. You never asked me. I would love to talk to you about your future. I told you that at the beginning of the year. Another comma conjunction error. You don't need that comma there. Thank you, God. These are the big gods, so you got to capitalize his name. Are there to help me? The challenge will certainly be intriguing. Then you get here. All in all, high school was okay. Now, if I remember right, you said at the beginning it was beyond bothersome in more ways than one. So when I get to your end and you say, it was okay, I give it 4 stars out of 10, um, I'm not exactly sure that that's really where you were going with it. I would say this is better off left later. You still need a strong thesis statement restated here once you find your strong thesis statement restated here. So this is intriguing. You get down to what you learned in each year, which it should be a complete sentence, but at least you did something as a review. It taught you about love and friendship. Sophomore year taught you about work ethic. Junior year taught you about planning and being prepared. And senior year has taught me about hope and to find enjoyment in everything you can. I would like to point out that you didn't talk about nearly this much stuff, at least in your senior year. Enjoyment and everything you can. When did you talk about that up here? So you can't end on your main points. You got to end on some other kind of clincher, whether it's to relate back to the quote or what. I don't know, but you do need to end on that. So a lot of work still to do, Zach. I really like your voice. I wish I could take your writing voice, give it to half the kids in the class because I think it's really good. But you do got some work to do otherwise with some of this other information. So good luck on a rewrite.